Today's first game equals the visitors on the silver, the Majors of Millsaps College, and the home team on the silver, the Royals of Bethel University. Here are the starters from Millsaps College.
And welcome courtside, ladies and gentlemen, to the South Point Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada for the 6th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Game 1 of 16. Game 1 of just 2 today. I am Dave McHugh, joined alongside Pat Coleman as we get ready for the first one. It'll be Bethel versus Millsaps, the Majors and Royals taking on each other here in the first one. Of course, Bethel coming in with a record of 4-4 overall. Millsaps coming in with a record of 5-3. These two teams coming off big seasons last year, 20-plus win seasons, Pat. Both teams, though, struggling a little bit in the first half, per se, of the season.
Yeah, and for Millsaps, it's a function of the fact that last year's team was very much senior-laden. It's a very young team this year. You could just go up and down the number of freshmen in this lineup, of which three are getting the starting nod here this afternoon. On the Bethel side, Bethel can point to a lot of injuries. Rachel Porepsky, who is a big D3Hoops.com award winner, has been banged up a little bit this season, and especially Callie Zimmerman, who's only played 13 minutes so far this season for the Royals. I talked with John Herbricksmeyer before the game, and he said that he expects, even though that Porepsky and Zimmerman have only played a total of 9 minutes together so far this season, he expects that to change here this afternoon.
Let's get you starting lineups first for the Majors for Millsaps. Starting at guard, 5'8" freshman from Biloxi, Mississippi, Marissa Taylor. Also at guard, 5'3" junior from Memphis, Tennessee, Katie Connor. At forward, a 5'10" junior from Pineville, Louisiana, Kayla Jewel Freeman. At guard, a 5'8" freshman from Pearland, Texas, Casey Matthews, and a 5'9" forward freshman from Tupelo? Tupelo is what I'm trying to say, Mississippi.
One of those great Mississippi towns.
Yes, Braxton Thomas. And we are not doing media timeout.
You are so correct.
We love our referees when they want to make sure we keep this game moving. Millsaps will be wearing their road black jerseys with purple numbers and white trim. For Bethel, quickly at guard, a 5'9" junior guard from Burnsville, Minnesota, Shani Morse. A 5'7" senior guard from Fridley, Minnesota, Hannah Newell, is also at guard. We'll get you the rest as we get the tip-off underway here. Bethel in control, a 5'4" senior guard from Dalton, Minnesota, Sydney Schultz, also the starting lineup. A 5'11" sophomore forward from Plymouth, Minnesota, Molly O'Toole, and a 6'2" senior center from Arden Hills, Minnesota, Rachel Porepsky. Now ball goes out of bounds to start this one. Underway here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. Bethel gets the ball inbounds off the tough inbound on the baseline. They'll start it up. Millsaps playing a trapping defense, drive into the lane, and a ball goes out of bounds. No foul called on the drive by Shani Morse.
Yep, Morse put the ball on the floor and then kind of hit off her knee, and that is Millsap basketball.
If you have not watched a lot of women's basketball games, don't forget we are playing 10-minute quarters.
I tell you, man, I looked up at the 10 about 5 minutes before game time, or during the anthem. I thought that is right.
Welcome to the D3 season, Pat.
Yeah,
obviously, understandably tied up with football. As a miss on the underneath, rebound collected, put back by Maya Brooks from Montgomery, Alabama. Maya gets the first 2 points of the game. They go to Millsaps, 2-0 the lead.
Maya, one of the veterans on this Millsaps squad, back from last year's team, which was hoping for an NCAA tournament bid, but didn't quite get off the bubble.
Just missed it. 2-3 zone from Millsaps. Bethel on the outside, trying to find penetration. Minute into this game. Thought about the three, pumps it inside, looking for an opportunity. Double team comes down, ball is stripped, and Bethel comes up with the steal. Well done, Bethel. Millsaps.
Yeah, I like what Millsaps is doing here on defense, Dave. They are very active, very athletic. As Bethel's moving the ball around, Millsaps very quick to react.
Keeping it from getting inside. That time it was there, but the defense helped. Nice drive inside. Spin from 10 feet, no good. Shot by Freeman. Rebound collected by Newell. Here she goes the other way. Can she get the first 2 points of the day? And she can for the Royals.
Well, I mean, one of the things that Bethel's going to have to do is they want to try to beat the defense down the floor. I don't know if that's necessarily the pace of the game that they want, but it helped them for an easy 2 right there.
Early into this one, less than 2 minutes. We got a 2-2 game from the South Point Arena. Pat Coleman, Dave McHugh here calling these games. We'll be joined by Gordon Mann and Justin Sweeney throughout the week to call these 16 basketball games. tipped. I think it got blocked.
Yeah.
Looked like it got blocked. Shot was missed nonetheless by Brooks, and Bethel calls in another rebound. That one going to Morse, and here comes Bethel the other direction. Three-pointer is up and good by Schultz.
I'm getting my first real opportunity to see Rachel Perupski in action, an extended period since her freshman year. She's really improved. She's looking really good here as a senior.
Nice job on Morris on the defense. Gets the steal up ahead. Shot from the baseline. No good by, I think it was O'Toole on the baseline. Three, top of the key. Good again from Schultz, and a timeout will be called as quickly Bethel out on an 8-0 run has taken an 8-2 lead here, and Millsaps will call timeout. They got to use a timeout in the first half. You might as well use it when you need it here with 7:20 left in the first quarter.
Well, and if you're Millsaps, obviously you want to cut down on the second chances that Bethel's gotten. That big basket, obviously, right there, a result of Bethel getting the offensive rebound and then finding the player open out in the circle for the three. A big shot for Bethel right there.
So Millsaps, who started out defensively pretty well, Bethel has either adjusted or gotten used to it well enough to hit a couple key three-pointers by Schultz. Jumps out on an 8-0 run to take the 8-2 lead. And that is the first timeout called. Again, both teams have timeouts to use in the first half or lose them. Both teams start with three 30s and 2 full timeouts in women's basketball this year in non-media games. And they use one there do the majors.
Yep. Bethel out 3 for 3 from the floor here in the early going. I'm sure Millsaps probably wants to get any defensive stop.
Holmes with the ball to start the offense. Shot was no good. Rebound shot was no good. Ball will go out of bounds and belong to the Majors underneath 28 seconds on the shot clock.
Meanwhile, Millsaps just 1 for 6 from the floor.
Quick pass inside, shot no good from Holmes. Bethel collects the rebound and coming the other direction. Pushing the pace is Newell. Tries to hit Schultz in the wing for probably another look at a three, but Schultz, the pass behind her, cannot haul it in. Turnover goes against the Royals.
One of the things you always look at in these games too, Dave, coming off a break, is how long has it been since each team's played.
Yep.
Bethel played St. Benedict back on the 12th of December,
yep.
And it's been a 9-day layoff for Millsaps. They played Howard Payne on the 18th.
Millsaps' first practice of after break was here yesterday at South Point. They actually flew in Christmas evening, went to a movie together. There's a 2 from the corner is good from Holmes. Coach was telling me he wasn't thrilled with their practice, but then again he says I probably had my expectations a little too high for the first one after the break. Three-pointer, far wing is good. That one had a little bit of height to it for O'Toole, but it's good nonetheless.
And a little bit of backspin. Nice splash through.
11-4 the lead here for Bethel. 4 minutes into the game. Man-to-man defense from the Royals. Holmes finds herself on the baseline, puts up a shot after a nice pump fake, gets it to fall. Holmes has found her stride here, hitting the last 2 shots for the Majors.
Yeah, one of the few veterans that can come off the bench from Millsaps, a senior on a team where the bench is primarily freshmen.
Blocking foul is going to be called here on Randall, the first foul called of the game. Her first, team's first. Again, remember fouls here in women's game, 5 per quarter before we hit a bonus, and it's straight to a double bonus. Team fouls then reset after each quarter, except if we head to overtime. 11-6 the lead here for Bethel, who's in their white uniforms.
Dave, we've got 16 games. Don't you dare say that word again.
I apologize. Should never have uttered the foul word.
No,
I know. Schultz 3, no good.
I meant the O word.
Oh, I just. This is the first of 16 games. First of 2 today. We'll have a 6-hour break between games today. Not sure what we're going to do with ourselves, or if we even return.
I don't know. It's Las Vegas, man.
Yeah, I know. We may not return for that.
Just turn the camera on and let it go, right?
Exactly. We can. Actually can do
yeah,
that.
I saw that.
Shot in the corner. Schultz rattles in and out. And they're going to say ball out of bounds. Thought maybe there was a foul there, but they don't call it. It'll stay Bethel possession. Checking into the game for the Royals will be Hannah Johnson, the 6'1" freshman center from Duluth, Minnesota. She will give Rachel Perupski a break. And Millsaps will sub in a few players as well, as checking in is Braxton Thomas, who had started the game, along with Kelly Randall, this 5'9" junior guard. Also checking now in for Bethel as we do matchup games. Number 11, Angie Kirchhoff, this 5'8" sophomore guard from Barrington, Illinois. Pass inside, tipped at the top, and then stolen by Johnson. Johnson brings it across the timeline, and correction, that was brought in by Brooks. Brooks with a steal. And the Majors will reset the offense in the hands of Cassie Matthews. She gets it to Klunk, back to Matthews. Matthews loses the dribble as she drives the lane. Now they'll call it jump balls. It's tied up in the legs of Bethel's Shani Morse. As checking in for the Majors now will come Holmes. Beverly Holmes, who's got 4 points on the night so far. She will give Kelly Randall a break. Holmes' first touch, shot, airballed it, left it about a foot short. Collects the rebound and puts it back in, does Matthews, and now Millsaps closes the gap to 3.
Well, I mean, coming out of that timeout, they were down 8-2, so this is a nice opportunity to work back in and shifting priorities on defense in the process.
Gotten a little more aggressive on defense yet again, as you could see there on the pass to the elbow. Schultz being guarded well outside of the box. Inside, yep, she's going to get tripped probably by Holmes, who helps her to her feet. I think they called that on Holmes. That'll be her first. Team's 4th. I missed 2 fouls somewhere along the lines.
It's okay, we have live stats.
Love live stats. Checking in for Bethel, Abby Miller, the 5'3" sophomore guard from Howard Lake, Minnesota. And checking back into the game is Marissa Taylor. Shot for Bethel, no good. Quickly up ahead come the Majors. Into the corner, 3-pointer. On the way, misses short, rolls over the top of the rim, and Millsaps collects the rebound. Matthews with it, top of the key.
Just the 6th rebound of the afternoon for the Majors.
Pass inside, tried to get it to Brooks, and is a little too far from Thomas. Help defense coming over the top. Was able to break up the pass, and it'll be Bethel possession. 3:45 left to go here in the first quarter. Small crowd here on hand. Nice to see people come and support these teams. Shot on the layup, no good by Zimmerman. Millsaps will bring it the other direction. Shot in the corner, good, but it's a long 2 for Thomas. But draws the Majors to within 1.
Couple of those now. The shot by Holmes earlier was from about 19.5, and then this one a little bit further out, but not far enough.
3 in the corner, good for Kayla Jewel Freeman.
I'll tell you, Bethel came into the game averaging 3.6 3-pointers made a game, 14.3 3-pointers attempted. A little more focused around the exterior so far here in the first quarter.
Back-to-back 8-0 runs for these two teams was ended just there by the Bethel 3. I really should say it was an 11-0 run by Bethel. Rebound, fight for, no good, still loose. And a random buzzer does not stop play, but the ball eventually goes out of bounds.
Well, because the shot clock expired because Millsaps missed the rim twice. And there's at least some plausible deniability that maybe Bethel hadn't quite gotten possession of it before the horn went off.
Weren't done with the substitutions there. Got the ball inbounded a little too quickly. I think the refs have a show to go to tonight, which I appreciate. Said it on purpose, was not heard.
Yeah.
Pass up ahead, Bethel, long shot, good, and it'll be a three-point opportunity for Molly O'Toole, who hits the shot and is fouled.
Molly O'Toole, and she's not the only one on Bethel who's got size but still willing to pull up and take the pull-up jumper. There, she drained it, has a shot at a three-point play.
O'Toole's free throw up and no good. O'Toole coming in 76.9% free throw shooter, but shooting at that end that we always like to talk about is the hardest to shoot at.
I was trying to get through the whole first quarter without mentioning that.
I had to mention it once. Had to get it out of the way. Fight for the ball. Interesting enough that time, O'Toole kind of walked right back, not walked, but spun right back into the arms of Marissa Taylor, who was able to tie it up. It'll stay Bethel possession, but O'Toole had freed herself up, but inadvertently spun right back into the into the jump ball scenario.
Well, this is our 6th D3Hoops.com Classic. So Dave and I have called a significant number of the 90-some games or so that will have been played in this tournament. And there's the right-hand side of the gym, the one Bethel is shooting in, has a much deeper backdrop. And so sometimes we talk about that being a harder backdrop for D3 kids to shoot in because it's typically bigger than many of the places you'd play in D3.
Shot by Parpruski is blocked by Taylor, but yeah, I agree. The other thing though is I think last year might have been the first year we kind of noticed it wasn't a factor.
Yeah, well, I think people figured out, teams can combat it by shooting from the wing, shooting from the corner instead of straight on.
Bethel showed a 2-3 defense that time down. Shot no good. Here come the Royals the other direction. Hope you're enjoying this game here on D3Hoops.com from the South Point Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. South of the strip, we got a foul away from the ball. On the post by Popruski, it looks like Klunk will pick up the foul.
Well, Porupski was really battling up in the high post. And I just want to keep an eye on the next couple of minutes, although Callie Zimmerman taking a break. Zimmerman has played in just one game this season. We mentioned in the right before the tip-off that she and Porupski have only been on the floor together for a total of 9 minutes. Last year, she was the second leading scorer for the Royals at 14.1 a game, and they've missed her.
Minute 20 left to go in the first quarter. Bethel has not committed a foul yet so far. Driving the lane, shot from about 6 feet, no good from Newell, but the rebound is up and good, and it's an 18-10 lead.
Nice job by O'Toole there. Again, size and in the right position, and able to drain a mid-range jumper.
Into the game, handling the ball. Katie Connor, she started the game, the 5'3 junior from Memphis, Tennessee. 2-3 zone from Bethel. We'll try it again. Bounce pass inside to Randall. Randall will kick it out. Shot from the wing, no good off the iron for Taylor. And here come the Royals the other direction in the hands of Newell. They cannot take the last shot as there's about a 15-second differential between shot and game clock. Shot from the wing, no good by Miller. Millsaps will collect it. They're going to have to shoot it before the shot clock expires as well. There's about a 1.5-second differential now.
I mean, if they don't want to turn it over,
yeah. Exactly.
They don't have to shoot it.
That's a fair point. Bethel in that 2-3 zone. Millsaps taking a bit of a breather here. You can see a little bit of tired bodies out there as we're closing out just the first quarter.
Yeah, it's been a back-and-forth game and not a lot of breaks.
Connor with the ball, top of the key now. Swings it over to Taylor into the corner from three for Holmes. No good. Rebound collected with 3.5 seconds left. Here comes Bethel up ahead. Last second shot will not happen. Didn't even get a decent look at it as Newell. And we'll take our first break. Well, not you and I literally, but I just mean in the sense of the game. We will take a break here as both teams will. I honestly kind of don't want to take a break because I'm curious how long this break's going to be. This will be good for the rest of the tournament to know how long these breaks between quarters will last.
There's been a lot of discussion as to how long the break between quarters should
anything will last. 18-10. Bethel will lead. Millsaps again started off with a 2-0 lead. Had Bethel a little bit off key on defense. Bethel figured it out and kind of rolled from there. A couple 8-0 runs from both teams, and Bethel, though, certainly showing their experience.
Well, and some of the new kids, new this season anyway. Yeah. Molly O'Toole is led the way in the first quarter with 7 points, 3 of 3 from the floor, 1 of 1 from downtown. Someone who did not play as a freshman last year, a sophomore out of Hopkins High School in one of the largest high schools in the state of Minnesota. So a pretty prominent athletic program there. But yes, I think that. Going back to something we said earlier too, I think pace of the game is certainly something that's a factor. You saw them. You saw players winded there in the final couple minutes of the first period. It'll be interesting to see how they come out here for the second. But that was about a minute, I guess.
Yeah, about a minute and a half. Not too bad.
On the other side, Beverly Holmes leading the way off the bench for the Majors. 6 points, 3 of 6 from the floor, 0 for 1 from downtown. They have just 10, so Casey Matthews with 2, Maya Brooks with 2 for Bethel. I mentioned O'Toole with 7, Sydney Schultz has 6, Abby Miller with 3, Hannah Niewald with a pair as well. And Porupski's been held scoreless, 0 for 1 from the floor and 1 rebound.
As we now get ready for the second quarter from the South Point Arena, inbounding it right in front of us will be Millsaps. They do not switch ends in the quarters, only the half. So
right.
Bethel Millsaps will still be going right to left across your screen.
I remember high school basketball.
Hope you're enjoying, by the way, HD here from the South Point Arena. As a shot in the corner is good. Looks like a long two, as arms in the air for Thomas. Yet another long two for Millsaps. But yeah, HD here, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're enjoying it. Able to do that thanks to technology changes. better than the SD we were bringing you the last 5 years?
Presumably.
Presumably, yeah, I would assume.
It should be.
Three-pointer far wing, up and good for Schultz, who's now buried 3 of those in this game. 21-12 lead as Bethel extends their offensive prowess.
And a nice job by Perupski, not finding a good look for the basket and found her teammate open instead.
Ball was going out of bounds, bounced off a ref into the hands of a Bethel player. Up ahead into a double team goes Newell. Finds an open player, no good. O'Toole fights the rebound, able to collect it, but then brings it down for yet again another jump ball. This one will belong to Bethel since Millsaps started the quarter with possession.
Perupski with that 19-footer to start that possession. Looks like she got the ball a little bit in an awkward position while she was in transition, so kind of forced to put it up. O'Toole was right there to collect the rebound, but she wasn't able to do anything with it.
Unfortunately, O'Toole probably should have kept it above her head. She probably could have done something. They always tell you, if you got the ball in the middle of the paint, keep it above your head if you can. They can't really get to it that way, but nonetheless, 8:50 left to go here in the second quarter. Bethel the lead by 9. Perupski's shot from a little further than the free throw line is good, and that now their biggest lead now extends into double digits, 23-12.
Yep, first bucket of the afternoon for Perupski.
Third-team preseason All-American, National Rookie of the Year in 2013. We talked about how an injury started her season off rough. Double block, though it'll probably only go in the books as one. Brooks' shot double blocked by Perupski. Matthews drove. I was right. Holmes drove, missed it. Up ahead, look at that acrobatics.
Nice job by Shani Morris. That's impressive.
She'll get a chance at the three-point play after the up and under. Falls for her, and as she's fouled, it's up to a 25-12 lead here. And if you're Coach Winkleman, this is not exactly how you drew this first game up.
Yeah, this is a bit of a struggle, and it's been a bit of a struggle for Millsaps over the course of the season already. We have them listed in the program at 4 and 5 for whatever reason. They're actually 5 and 3, and Winkleman came over to our side of the table. Not that we had anything to do with the program, and said, "By the way, we're 5 and 3, and I need every win we could get this season."
Yeah. I remember talking to him in the offseason about this tournament, who we'd match him up with. They've got a big game coming up tomorrow. Driving on the baseline is good, as Millsaps is able to get their first 2 points of the quarter, and a traveling violation is going to get called on Newell, who got caught between decisions. She got the ball, and she wanted to get it over to Schultz, but I don't think she thought Schultz was ready. And she ended up shuffling her feet, as Millsaps will have a host of substitutions here. Checking in, Kayla Jewel Freeman and Kelly Randall into the game for the first time this quarter. Also checking in, I think, for the first time this quarter, Kim Klunk as well, 7:45 mark in the second quarter. Millsaps just not looking comfortable on offense. Bethel's beating them to some of the spots they want to get offensively. But a foul called. First one on Bethel. We'll put the ball out of bounds here on the near side. Holmes with it. 5'7", senior from San Antonio, Texas. Finds her teammate Freeman, open from about 10 feet. She shoots it over O'Toole, but can't make it fall. Klunk collects the rebound, using her 6-foot frame to get into position. And they'll reset the offense with the Majors, who last game coming off a 63-62 win over Howard Payne. Third in a row after starting the season with 3 losses.
Winkleman wants them to get moving, too. Too slow on this possession.
Forcing the shot as Holmes looked like it got blocked or tipped at least by Schultz. And that is, Winkleman's going to probably call that a wasted possession after getting the offensive rebound.
Holmes has played well here so far, but just in her 5th game of the season.
Schultz splits the double team and a foul coming. It's either going to go on Holmes or it's going to go on Thomas. It's going to go on Holmes. That is the team's second of this quarter.
Well, it's interesting, Dave, as much as we've been talking about the pace of this game, Millsaps on the course of the season averaging just 61 points a game. I feel like this game has had a few more possessions than Millsaps would necessarily want to generate, being played at a significant pace, and I think that's because of the frenetic way in which Millsaps is playing defense.
Yeah, they're almost feeling like they have to push themselves down the court.
I think they're doing it themselves, yeah.
Yep. Newell with the ball far side. That frenetic defense is on display right now from Millsaps. They are double teaming almost every possession, or every person who has the ball, and it forces the turnover. O'Toole tried to get it into Perupski, and it gets turned over. Millsaps will get the ball. The other thing that's forcing the tempo is Bethel's defense. Bethel, when they're in that full court, is forcing Millsaps up the court faster than they probably would like. Double screen off the top. Matthews looking for an option. Gets it inside. Nice feed to Brooks, who's able to get it to fall. Cuts the deficit to 9. Correction, 10. We have the wrong score on our scoreboard. And look at that. Effort by Randall. Gets the steal, puts it up. We'll go to the line at least to shoot 2 here.
That was a good-looking possession on the previous one for Millsaps. They did a nice job converting and then get a steal and try to cut into this double-digit deficit.
Randall will go to the line here. Coming into the tournament, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Not that many occasions that she's shot free throws.
No, she's played in 5 games. She's only played 64 minutes all season before today.
First one up and good. Deficit now 9. Checking into the game for the Royals. Oh, sorry. I was looking at someone I didn't think was playing. It's Callie Zimmerman, the 5'9" junior forward from Champlin, Minnesota. The second one missed, but a lane violation nonetheless. We'll give the ball to Bethel, so even if it was made, it wasn't going to count. Zimmerman's second game of the season. Played against St. Benedict. That's it so far this season.
Yeah, it's been a lineup shuffle for both of these teams. 9 different players have started this season for Millsaps. 7 different players have started for Bethel. Callie Zimmerman, as I mentioned, the second leading scorer last season, and they've missed her the course of the first 7/8 of the year.
Fellow first-team All-MIAC with Perupski last season. Shot no good. Coming the other way to Millsaps, and you can already see them slowing it down just a little bit. Bringing it up the court is Matthews. She tries to feed on the elbow. Able to get the screen, though slightly illegal. It's coming around the top of it was Freeman who put up the shot. No good. They have missed a lot so far. And a traveling violation is shuffling her feet. I believe that was... It was Morris on the far side. 5:29 left to go here in the second quarter. Bethel's only committed 2 fouls this entire half so far.
Well, they've been aggressive, but not in your face defensively. They just use their size. They're bigger than Millsaps is.
And very good not to hand check. Pass into the chest of a Bethel player. Bounces into the hands of Matthews, who puts up the shot, and it's no good. Rebound collected by Morris. Quickly up ahead comes Bethel in the hands of Zimmerman. Zimmerman forces up the shot over Randall, and it's no good. Here comes Millsaps the other direction. They're keeping the pace up. Matthews brings it across the timeline. Now we'll slow things down with 4:55 left to go in the second quarter. It is 26-17, Bethel the lead. Across the top of the timeline, Thomas drive just rolls off the top of the rim, but stolen on the rebound by Freeman, and then Perupski rips it back on the shot attempt.
Yeah, nice job by Perupski not giving up on it after making a mistake, not reacting with a negative emotion and committing a foul, which happens so often.
Perupski with it in the paint, puts up the shot. Randall looked like she got a hand on it, and it falls into the hands of Newell. Everything just bouncing Bethel's way right now, especially on long rebounds. Drive in the lane by Morris. She'll get fouled. We'll go to the line to shoot 2 here. Team leading by 6. Correction, 9 with 4:15 left to go. Hush falls over the crowd, apparently.
You're lining it up on the 7th.
That's where I was headed.
Yeah, I know.
Morris, a 64.5% free throw shooter, misses the first one. She started every game this season. Honorable mention last year. All-MIAC. MIAC last year was certainly a good conference in women's basketball, and men's too, but in women's basketball certainly shown.
Football, baseball.
Yeah, they've come, but it's just competitive last year across the board in women's basketball. Yeah, that too.
Wrestling, actually, I don't think wrestling is a conference sport, but
All-MIAC probably undersung as an entire conference when a lot of people talk about some of those big conferences with lots of success. The MIAC, I don't think gets a lot of the recognition it probably deserves. Spin move in the lane, just will not fall for Millsaps right now as the shot was missed by Freeman. Low 3 for Holmes is good though. Cuts the deficit to 6.
Wow.
Tell me about it.
Holmes having a great first half here so far. Still the leading scorer for the Royals.
Top of the key, swinging around far side, Schultz. Schultz drives, gets cut off at the baseline. We'll bring it back up, 15 on the shot clock. Into the hands near side of Newell. Nice feed to the backside, just could not get held or handled by Morse. Morse on one knee, Tries to get it to Schultz. Will keep it just shy of the line. 2 seconds on the shot clock. 3 up, no good, front iron. Fight for the rebound will go out of bounds, belong to the Majors.
Well, it was a good job by Bethel recognizing. Shot clock ticking down with about 6 seconds left in the possession. The ball was rolling out near midcourt, and there was nobody within about 6 or 7 feet of it. They recovered to get a shot off and a decent look at the basket, but just not able to convert.
Lily Porter checks in the game for the first time. 5'7" freshman guard from Cambridge, Minnesota for the Royals. Millsaps with the ball in the hands of Taylor. Taylor being guarded very nicely by Newell. Newell forcing her left, and clearly Taylor not liking going to her left. Holmes with the ball, looking for help, gets it to Taylor, goes to her right, loses the dribble, gets onto her back and travels. As Bethel will have some wholesale changes here. Checking back into the game are Freeman, that's Miller, Perupski, and it looks like O'Toole back into the game, I believe. So in the last 2 whistles, 4 of the 5 players for Bethel have subbed out. 26-20, 2:57 left to go here in the second quarter. Bethel, after the first couple of minutes a little rough, are in control. Into the corner. Wide open was Miller. Had to pass it up on a mishandle of the ball. Now into the hands of Porta. Porta hip checked by Randall. Randall, that's a ill-advised foul. 35 feet from the basket, as Randall will pick up the foul. That's the team's 4th. 2:38 left, and Randall will probably check out here. As checking back into the game comes Taylor. Also back into the game comes Brooks. And Brooks will give Freeman a break. Bethel has the ball, 2:38 left, and the 6-point lead in the second quarter here. Game 1 of 16 at the D3Hoops.com Classic. Spin at the elbow. Shot is good from O'Toole.
Wow, she's an amazing addition, a huge difference for Bethel. Imagine where they would be this season if they didn't have her playing the way she has today.
Absolutely. Inside feed, nice look, quick decision by Brooks. The feed coming from Taylor. They'd love to have more of those opportunities for the Majors. That's the first good offensive kind of sequence, getting the opportunity inside they've had, I'd say, all game.
And Brooks now with 6 points on the afternoon.
Porta in trouble, splits the double team, gets it to O'Toole. O'Toole drives in, spins into a double team, somehow gets out of it, puts up the shot, and it's no good. And hauling in the rebound is Brooks. Matthews with it, and she'll slow down the pace with 1:44 left. .135 to go in the hands of Clunk, puts up the shot and no good, and Bethel hauls down yet another defensive rebound. Here comes Miller the other direction. Inside to O'Toole. O'Toole back outside to Newell. Newell will go around O'Toole, kick it outside to Miller. Miller for 3, front iron, no good. Fight for the rebound will be collected by Clunk, and Clunk will try and outrace Miller down the court. Puts up the shot, no good. Follow-up rebound is put back by Matthews.
Yeah, nice job by Matthews, the freshman, following and finishing.
We are aware that we've lost our video somehow. We will work on that. But trust us, we'll keep calling the game. Some things are out of our control. 3-pointer, good from the corner from Miller, and it's now up to a 31-24 lead for Bethel.
Put on your radio hat, Dave.
I'm going to have to, as Matthews picks up the ball at the timeline. 42 seconds left to go here in the first half, second quarter. She'll come around the screen at the 3-point line, defensively guarded by Miller. Into the corner, 3 on the way from Jordan. Correction is from Taylor is no good. Rebound by Taylor. Taylor gets it, puts it up, no good, and Perupski pulls in the rebound, and a timeout called by Bethel. It's the timeout they got to use or lose.
Use it or lose it, exactly.
So they'll call a 30-second timeout here with 27.3 on the clock.
So when you did adjust the cable, it flashed on for just a second. Maybe.
Yeah, it's been flashing in general.
Okay, well, so as Dave said, some of these things are out of our control, but we will work on them at the half. But Bethel with the 31-24 lead, an opportunity to take the last shot, and would cap a pretty good first half for the Royals.
Unlike the end of the game, let's remind you can't bring it up to the 28th-foot line, but they will get a chance here for a last-second shot. I've had some people ask me if that's an every quarter thing. It's an only end-of-game scenario, but 27.3 seconds left. They will get a chance here at the last shot because the shot clock is off. So Bethel using their use it or lose it 30-second timeout here. We know the video is out, folks. We will work on it at halftime, see if we can get it back up and running. Video is fed to us by those here working at South Point, usually pretty solid, but every once in a while you can just get a cable that doesn't like to cooperate.
Welcome to game one.
Yeah, well, this is what we do in game one. We get the bugs out of the system. 31-24, Bethel lead. They'll hold on for the last shot, you would presume. Millsaps in a man-to-man defense. In the hands of Schultz at top of the key. She'll now hand it off to Newell. Newell being guarded by Matthews. She'll get to the far side to Kirchhoff. Back up top to Perupski. Perupski will drive. Kick back out. 3 on the far corner. Good! Buried by Kirchhoff. And Millsaps will not be able to get the ball inbound before the end of the half. And just like that, Bethel extends its lead to 10, 34-24. Very impressive effort there and a good offensive set coming off of the timeout. And Pat will quickly get a word here with Bethel's head coach. Pat.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Tough first 2 or 3 minutes, but the rest of them pretty good here in that first half.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed middle of the second quarter. I thought they got a frenetic pace going, and we sort of lost discipline against all the trapping. But we don't see a lot of that in Minnesota. We don't see that level of quickness. So all in all, I was really pleased with what we did.
And what do you want to do coming out the second half?
Well, we've got to handle their traps a little bit better. We got to get the ball in the middle of the floor. When we got it to O'Toole and to Zimmerman there, and they took their time and faced up, really good things happened. When we got rushed, nothing good happens for us.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Again, Bethel coming off that use it or lose it timeout, able to get the last three-pointer on a nice kick out by Perupski. 34-24, Bethel the lead over Millsaps here at half of the very first game, the 6th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Again, we know the video is not working. We are already in the works of trying to solve that for the second half. I can promise you it's just a dead cable. We're just going to have to replace it. We're going to take a break. We apologize. There'll be no audio as we can avoid some usually they play music at halftime, so we're going to try and avoid some copyright issues. Otherwise, we'll be back in a few minutes. Pat and I will have you the stats. You're watching the D3Hoops.com Classic here at the South Point Arena in Las Vegas. We'll be back with the second half of Bethel Millsaps coming up. Welcome back to the South Point Arena. Looks like we got our video fixed. We'll see how long it lasts. This is game one. We'll have a few hours to fix it for game two. I'm Dave McHugh alongside Pat Coleman. Let's look at the first half stats for this one. In our first game, Bethel leads Millsaps. We'll start with Millsaps with 24 total points. They are led by Beverly Holmes with 9 points on 4 and 9 shooting, 1 for 2 from beyond the arc. Second on the team with 6 points is Maya Brooks. She's 3 for 7 from the floor. She also leads the rebound category with her teammate Freeman. She's got 6 rebounds. Second on the team with 4 points is Cassie Matthews on 2 of 4 shooting. She's got 3 rebounds. 2 points each for Freeman and Thomas. Kayla Jewel Freeman with 6 rebounds as well. Braxton Thomas with 2 points as mentioned, and Kelly Randall with a single point. Team is shooting 11 for 39 from the floor, struggling a little bit, 28.2%. 1 for 4 from beyond the arc and a single 1 for 1 from the free throw line. For Bethel, leading the team with their 34 points, leading the team is 2 players. Molly O'Toole with 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting, 1 for 1 from beyond the arc, 0 for 1 from the free throw line, and 5 rebounds. 9 points also for Sydney Schultz, 3 of 5 from the floor, all of those from outside the arc. Second on the team with 6 points is Abby Miller on 2 of 4 shooting, also all from outside the arc. 3 points for Shani Morris and for Angie Kirchhoff. 2 points each for Rachel Perupski and Hannah Newell. And rebounds, again, O'Toole with 5 and Perupski with 5 as well. Team is shooting far better than Millsaps. 13 for 27 from the floor at 48.1%. 7 for 13 from beyond the arc at 53.8%. And free throws 1 for 4 at 25% for Bethel. Millsaps is actually out rebounding Bethel 24-20. Assists, Millsaps has 6, Bethel has 7. Millsaps has 5 turnovers to Bethel's 9, but Bethel has 4 blocks, and that may be conservative a number. Millsaps outscoring Bethel in the paint 12-6. Off turnovers, Millsaps 9, Bethel 4. Second chance opportunities, Millsaps 9, Bethel 2. A lot of those stats you would think favoring Millsaps, but it's Bethel who certainly is in control so far in this one.
Yeah, well, it's the one key stat, Dave, is Bethel 7 for 13 from downtown. That makes up for the fact that they're getting out-rebounded. They've turned the ball over a few more times, but they are shooting well from beyond the arc, much better than they have over the course of the regular season. And so that's lifted them to this 10-point lead as we start the third period.
And we are underway in the third period here with Bethel leading 34-24. We do have a video signal back. Again, we'll see how long that lasts. It's Dave McHugh and Pat Coleman here for D3Hoops.com, game 1 of 16. Of course, by the time we're done with 3 games, Millsaps will be done and gone from this arena. They will play the first game tomorrow and be finished.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
Yeah, or is it Bethel who's playing the first game?
It
is Bethel because Millsaps is playing George Fox in the second one. And then Millsaps will be done and gone by the time we're 4 games into this, as we have an illegal screen called on the drive by Matthews.
Yeah, Millsaps plays 2 of the first 3 games of the tournament. 2 of the first 3 games
of the
there
tournament.
We go. And then they're gone. And in all honesty, if St. Vincent and Mary Hardin Baylor hadn't each needed an extra game out here,
done and done.
Millsaps would have played the first 2 games and gone home. It's like
we're just warming up.
The D3 Hoops Millsaps Invitational, and then the rest of the tournament.
And then everybody else. So Millsaps, who actually came into town on Christmas Day. Nice drive by Bethel's Shani Morris. It takes a while to find her because we had her as down for a different number. So on my sheet, she's not where she should be numerically. But nice drive and the score nonetheless gets the first points of the second half as Bethel now extends their lead, I think, to their biggest lead of the game at 12.
No, almost.
They have led by 14 at one point.
Right before that kind of second quarter malaise that Coach Herbrixmeyer was talking about right before halftime.
Brooks put up the shot. It's no good. got caught underneath and forced it up, and it goes out of bounds. Millsaps setting up the full court press. We'll see how Bethel handles this, probably with ease considering how much they full court themselves. And the video is blinking a little bit, folks. We understand. If we have to, we'll do this as radio.
Yeah. We don't
And
like
shot no good. Millsaps collects the rebound. Holmes coming the other direction.
Holmes, big contributor off the bench for the first half. She wasn't healthy to start the season, but she's been working her way back in.
Shot no good. Perupski, easy rebound. No one there to join her. And coming the other direction. Kick into the corner. Shot on its way. No good. And rebound hauled down by Matthews. And here comes Millsaps the other way, but no numbers. 2 on 3. And Matthews smartly pulls back on the reins. 8 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. And the shot from Thomas is up and good. And Millsaps has its first 2 points of the second half as we hit about 2 minutes into the third quarter.
I think with Millsaps what we see is what you expect from a pretty young team. Pretty inconsistent. Some stretches of really good possessions, and then some stretches where things just don't work at all. Kind of like our video feed this afternoon.
Say. We upgraded to high def, and it's coming back to bite us.
low quality high def.
We will solve it, I promise you, at some point. Unfortunately, we don't have direct control of the video, which is not a bad thing. It's a shot forced up by Schultz is no good. It's nice every once in a while to show up to a place I don't have to directly be in charge of the video, but
then when you are, it works.
He usually works. Matthew drive into the lane, goes up and gets it to fall, 36-28. Bethel will inbound the ball, facing a full court man-to-man press, so it's a little confusing. Millsaps seem to not know who is guarding who, and the full court kind of is a token as Holmes will back off as Schultz brings it across the timeline. Schultz now with the ball. She'll get it into the near wing, into the hands of Morris. Morris gets to the baseline, kicks it outside to Perupski, who hits the shot from a little beyond the elbow, just inside the three-point line, and it's back to a 10-point lead.
Perupski didn't do much on the offensive end in the first half, just 1 for 4 for 2 points. Contributed in other ways, but here she got on the board early in the second.
Oh, three-pointer looked like it was going to fall for Holmes. Rattles out off the feed from Brooks. Here comes Bethel the other direction. Newell will drive the lane, get fouled out at the elbow, and will go, well, not be the free throw line. She'll go to the line, or they'll inbound, I should say, as Bethel will bring in 3 new subs. Those subs include Kelly Randall. They also include Kayla Jewel Freeman. And it looks like Kim Klunk will check into the game. And for Bethel, checking into the game will be Callie Zimmerman. So some height now for both teams into the game as well as Klunk brings in. Klunk's the tallest player for the Majors, sitting at 6 foot along with Maya Brooks. So I think Klunk would slightly be taller than she is. As the shot is no good for Bethel, and here comes Millsaps the other direction, trailing by 10 with 6:25 left. Driving the lane, floater from about 12 feet is Matthews, no good. Matthews eventually gets the ball, forces up a shot over Perupski. Does not fall. Perupski will pick up the foul, and Matthews will go to the line. She's a 73% free throw shooter, and she'll get 2 here.
You know, we talked a little bit during the course of the first half, Dave, but just a reminder, the foul situation, Bethel called for just 2 fouls in the first half, and that's the first one on Perupski here this afternoon. Millsaps, Kelly Randall in foul trouble with 3. Beverly Holmes off the bench, played just 9 minutes, picked up 2 fouls. They had 8 fouls in the first half.
Second free throw is no good.
Well, the first one was good.
Yep, first one was good, but able to collect the rebound, and they will try and reset the offense here, will Millsaps. Klunk from the free throw line is good. Cutting the deficit to within 7. Full court press engaged, but Newell is able to get it, break it easily with Zimmerman. Driving the lane is Perupski, loses control of the shot into Zimmerman's hands, who kicks it outside for a 3 by Newell. Newell misses it. We got players on the floor who slowly get to their feet as we reset the offense in the hands of Schultz. Now to the near wing in the hands of Morse. Top of the key to Zimmerman. He tries to force it inside to Perupski, but it's tipped and stolen by Bethel. They come the other direction into the hands of Thomas. Thomas now to Matthews. Klunk for 3 is good. And Millsaps on a mini run cuts the deficit to within 4.
Yeah, that is a big shot and a big way for them to come out here with a 10-4 run in the third quarter.
in the hand, inside I should say. Tried to get inside and a shot was blocked, but simultaneous possession is called, so a jump ball will give the ball to Bethel inside. 13 on the shot clock, 5:05 left to go in the quarter. Substitutions for Bethel, checking in Angie Kirkhoff along with Hannah Johnson, as Johnson will come in with her 6'1" frame. Bethel with a couple subs, including the shortest player in the game, Katie Connor, 5'3".
And Perupski takes a seat here, so it's an opportunity for Millsaps to alleviate some of that size disadvantage. Bethel has the basketball.
Into the hands of Kirkhoff, who forces it about 10 feet from the basket. Will get bailed out with a foul here. Leading by 4, she'll go to the line to shoot 2.
You want to pull out a GoPro? We could just shoot it that way.
I wish.
First shot on the way, and it is no good off the back iron. 4:55 to go here in the third quarter. I think officially you could say Bethel clinging to a 4-point lead.
Yeah, that's a fair argument.
And the second one is no good as well, and then a whistle and a lane violation, so we'll get one more attempt here for Angie Kirkhoff at the second foul shot. That one's good, and the lead is back to 5.
Bethel's certainly struggling from the free throw line so far in this one. I think that's only their second make of the afternoon. Nearly a travel by Taylor, but then that travel forced her into a bad pass, and it goes out of bounds and back into the Bethel's hands with 4:46 left to go here in the third quarter. Millsaps once again employing their full court press.
Yep, and Winkleman not happy after that last possession, and his players not standing around doing much on defense, really yelled at him to get him into that full court setup.
Schultz was in trouble, gets helped by Zimmerman. Somehow the ball gets all the way up court and into the hands of Johnson. As it looks like we've got video back. Oh, isn't that a nice relief?
Yeah, momentarily at least.
We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah, exactly. Don't count your fingers before you cross your chickens.
Matthews with the ball. She's being guarded by Schultz. Matthews to the far side. Kick to the elbow. Shot up, no good. Thomas with the shot got blocked by Zimmerman, but if you happen to be watching her left hand, you would have seen a nice little hand check on the hip. And she'll get called for the foul. 41-34 as we'll fix our scoreboard accordingly. Thompson to the line here. Tupelo, Mississippi resident, a 54% free throw shooter. Gets the first one to rattle home. Checking into the game for the Royals, Abby Miller. She will give Sydney Schultz a break.
That's another thing about young players is often, you know, they're it takes a little while to I'm just saying they're not great free throw shooting. Free throw shooters when they're young, and maybe they grow into that over the course of their career too.
Missed the second free throw, but Freeman hauled in the rebound. Will give Millsaps a new possession.
Yeah, big rebound for the Majors here because Bethel could have taken it, made it a 7 or 8 point lead.
Shot up, no good by Kim Klunk. And Klunk will go to the line. Completely off topic, but I was kind of looking forward to the fact we had a break in games here today because it was going to allow me to see my Ravens take on the Steelers. And then the season progressed, and I realized that really wasn't a game I wanted to watch. Well, guess what? They're leading and have taken over possession with a minute and a half left. They're basically playing all scrubs, and they're about to beat the Steelers. What?
How about that?
Yeah, so, hey, now I'm kind of wishing we were watching the game. 3:53 left. Klunk hits the first free throw, misses the second one.
I think we ought to just be thankful that people were able to watch this game.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with that. We're going to lose it momentarily as they switch cables for us.
But
and then back in. The guys here at South Point actually do a bang-up job. We certainly appreciate it.
Bang, bang,
that
bang.
Didn't come back.
Not yet.
Almost. We'll continue to call here as into the corner here, into the hands of Morse. Morse back out 5 on the shot clock. They'll get it inside. Opportunity for O'Toole is no good. 2 seconds on the shot clock. She will go to the line for the free throw opportunities as she gets bailed out.
Well, you were talking, Dave, about Bethel struggling from the line. They are indeed 2 of 6 from the so-called charity stripe.
Yeah, it's not much of a charity today. O'Toole to the line here to shoot 2. She was a 77% free throw shooter coming in and hits the first one. So now they're what, 3 of 8?
7.
3 of 7. So it's improving.
For you math majors, 43%. I used to actually call games with a math major, so that's a
That's
habit.
not fair.
That's a habit I've held on to. 4 for 8 from the line now.
First free throw. First person to hit 2 free throws, I think, all day today for both teams. Hits both, 3:25 left. We have a signal. We hope it will hold. 43-36 left. 43-36 your score. 3:23 left in the third quarter. Millsaps really pushing the pace. I would say out of control by Matthews, but she's going to get bailed out with a foul here. She went from one end of the court to the other in about 2 seconds.
Well, I mean, she definitely was not in a position to have a controlled shot. She was still in control of the basketball. She was just running out of options of what to actually do with it.
Free throw, no good, as she is much maligned there in her reaction for Matthews. First one, no good. Trailing by 7. Considering Bethel has gotten up to 14 points at some point in this game, Millsaps doing a very nice job of staying in this. Second one up, and that one is good. So it cuts the deficit to within 6.
And Matthews has 8.
And struggling here and then bailed out with a foul. A little bit of a reach in. They're either going to call that on Freeman or Matthews. And it'll give a 2-shot foul scenario here. The referee did put up the 1-on-1, but we all know in women's basketball this year, it's straight to the double bonus.
Oh, yeah, I totally know that.
Yeah, I figured you did. Newell will go to the line here. She's a 70% free throw shooter on the season, averaging 7 points a game coming in, 4.5 rebounds, 2 assists. Not much of a field goal shooter, only 29% on the season. First one slips through, extends the lead to 7 as Matthews will take a break for Millsaps, and checking back into the game will be Beverly Holmes. Holmes, their best three-point shooting threat at 39%. Second one rattles in, and it's back up to an 8-point lead for the Royals.
Yeah, I think they really look at her as a ball handler, not necessarily a scorer, and she's not someone who's going to dribble, penetrate, and get high percentage shots, so working out from her around the arc. She shot a little bit better last year, but still not great numbers, just considering the spot on the floor where she usually has the ball.
Thomas and Brooks on the wrong page. Thomas expected it closer to the baseline, passed it there. Brooks was up the block and no good. By the way, if you're a Carolina Panther fan, you are now dealing with a loss.
That's all right. It's much less pressure that way. 15-1 versus 16-0, no difference.
Fair point. 2-3 zone. Bethel will shoot it from the corner or from the elbow. That's O'Toole for 2 more. She's amazing. Where'd she come from?
Hopkins High School.
Thank you.
Plymouth, Minnesota. She's the leading scorer on the team coming into the day, and not doing anything to change that right now.
Undersung, to say the least. She's certainly had a good game in this one. 2:25 left to go. We still got another quarter to play, but it's a 10-point lead for Bethel. Every time Millsaps makes a run, Bethel responds, and that time Brooks lost control of the ball. Newell will collect it, and here she comes the other direction. She kicks it out. Thought about a three-pointer, did Miller. Now she'll give it back to Newell in the corner. O'Toole, free throw line, why not? Buried it.
You could tell Miller wanted that shot at the beginning of the possession, but a great decision to give it up. She's just a little bit out of position, and they ended up converting and pushing this lead back up to 12.
Coach Winkleman's look on his face of just resignation. They're having trouble stopping O'Toole right now. Holmes with the ball being guarded by Miller. Coming around the screen.
If this were the CBA, the Bethel would be looking to try to win this quarter and get a point in the standings.
Fair point.
They're up by 2 in the quarter.
49-37, 1:45 left to go. We will shoot the double bonus here. Again, going straight to the double bonus if you're new to women's basketball.
Or new to women's basketball in 2015-16.
I should say, correct. Right, this season. Did not finish that sentence, as they say. Rattles in the first one. Cuts the deficit to 11. Holmes will go for the second shot. Holmes only 7 for 10 coming into the week. Well, it's a combination of both. Misses the second one and remains an 11-point lead for Bethel.
Yep. She leads the Majors now with 10. But that lead sticks at 11.
Nice feed into the far side. O'Toole again. The feed this time coming from Kirchhoff, and O'Toole continues her scoring ways. 13-point lead, second biggest lead for Bethel on the day. 1:15 left to go here in the third quarter. Holmes with the ball being guarded once again by Miller. Gets it to the top of the key into the hands of Taylor. Now three-pointer, top of the key, no good from Thomas. Easy rebound for Johnson. And here comes Miller the other direction. Newell drives, loses the ball, but she's going to get fouled. So she will go to the free throw line here to shoot the double bonus with 51.6 seconds left.
I tell you, if you're Millsaps, you need to start cutting into this deficit now. You've only got 10 minutes to go in this game to cut into something that could be 14 and possibly even 15 in the fourth period. That's pretty tough. You got to come out, get a couple of baskets here, try to cut into this right away before the quarter ends.
You're going to have to get a couple bounces to go your way. Biggest lead of the game for Bethel, 53-38 as we close out the third quarter. Having trouble just getting it inbound as a full court press from Bethel has been engaged. Thomas with the ball.
You said having trouble, and I immediately looked at the video feed. It's like, what now?
Yeah, true.
Oh, all right, been stable for a few minutes.
I think that one's stable. I think we're good to go now.
All right. Yay for cables.
35 seconds left in the quarter. Holmes from about 8 feet. No good. O'Toole. Have you heard us say her name before? Hauls in the rebound. Newell with the ball. Off to Kirkhoff. Into the corner. Miller for three. Well short. May have gotten a hand on it was Freeman, but I can't tell.
I don't think so.
Just the way it fell made me think maybe it got altered. Rebound no good as Millsaps not playing their game at this point. And Coach Winkleman's got that look on his face, and he knows that too. Forcing up the shot there, though, by Newell. Still loose. Miller will try and keep it from going out of bounds. Does, but then it'll go out on the baseline right as the buzzer hits. As we finish the third quarter, 53-38, Bethel on top.
Boy, tough third period there for Millsaps. Let's see, they were outscored how much? Can't do math easily, so it's 19 for Bethel, 19-14. But, again, Dave, they had a spot in that game where they made a run. They cut the deficit down to 4, and then Bethel took it the other direction. They pulled away, and now with their biggest lead of the game at 53-38. Quick check of the stats for Bethel. O'Toole, whose name Dave mentioned many, many times. 17 points on 7 of 9 shooting, 1 for 1 from downtown. Also a team high 7 rebounds. Sydney Schultz with 9, Hannah Niewald and Abby Miller with 6 apiece for the Royals. For Millsaps, led by Beverly Holmes off the bench, just 4 for 11 shooting on her way to 10 points. Casey Matthews with 8, Clunk and Maya Brooks with 6 apiece. It's been a struggle, and really, Dave, again, that third period, a big struggle for Millsaps where they shot just 4 for 12, 1 for 3 from downtown, and 5 for 10 from the line.
Bethel certainly after, again, the first couple of minutes of the game, Millsaps kind of threw some curveballs on them on the defense, I guess. Bethel struggled a little bit, but woke up from there, and now it's been Millsaps who have completely not been playing their game. Have been forced into a tempo that they don't like playing, and the refs decide the ball's getting inbounded, and it's getting inbounded now. Puts it down, gets about a 2 count out before finally picked up by Freeman.
Third period stats.
I like you.
Yeah, that's nice. Third period stats for Bethel, 6 of 14 from the floor, 0 for 3 from downtown, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. So
that's
improvement there, yeah.
They were 1 for 4 in the first half. It's a nice feed inside to Freeman is good. Cuts that 15-point deficit to 13.
Dave.
And a new zone, by the way, 1-2-2 now from Millsaps. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say kissing up to the refs isn't going to get you anywhere of it. Well, that actually is not necessarily true.
I'll take it in the first game here.
First game of 16. I don't know if that's been mentioned.
16, I believe. 2 today. We'll take about a 6-hour break and go. I'm going to go watch some highlights of some crazy football games, I think.
I'm going to go work out.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Newell drives in.
For the first time in 6 D3Hoops.com Classics in Las Vegas.
Shot clock violation. They're making sure it didn't hit the shot.
Herb Meyer thinks it did hit the rim, and he's
everybody agrees with you.
Yes.
And they will. By the way, that's one of those names that looks harder on paper than it really is.
Just fly through it, man.
Exactly.
Herb Meyer.
It's one of those where you don't look at it, actually, is the best way to do it.
That's right.
Looks like we're going to get a timeout here as Herkmeyer wants a timeout.
Almost.
I know. I purposely just wanted to throw through it. Herb Brexmeyer.
Of course, as a native Minnesotan, none of these things really throw me. Hannah Niewald from Fridley, There's actually no particular names that are too difficult to pronounce or hometowns that are too difficult to pronounce on the Bethel side today.
No, actually, I appreciated Bethel's recruiting tactics of not bringing in the more difficult names in the world.
That's what they're going for.
So we have a timeout here on the floor. 53:40 left to go. 9:08 left.
Yeah, and really, with Bethel taking this timeout, it's a good opportunity for Millsaps. Actually, I mean, we're only 52 seconds into the fourth period, but Millsaps is in a position where they're trying to battle back from that 15-point deficit that they came into the fourth period with. And it's going to take some. It's going to take some doing. The full court pressure's got to be effective, which it hasn't necessarily been so far. They
made a change. We'll see how it works. I think that might be the conversation they're having in the Bethel timeout right now. Is okay. Now it's a 1-2-2.
Yeah. Well, and the way Bethel combated that and the extra turnovers in the first half was simply by making more three-pointers. They didn't make any threes in the third period, but they didn't have a need to attempt all that many of them either. They did a nice job pounding inside. 14 shots from inside the arc. Went to the foul line on 4 occasions for 8 shots. So definitely a bit of a different game plan in the third period for Bethel. We'll see what they do here with the rest of the fourth.
Millsaps in their 2-3. It's been a trapping 2-3, though not right now, interestingly enough. 3-pointer in the corner from O'Toole. I was about to say why not, but missed it. Miller for 3, messes it off the iron. Another offensive rebound for Bethel, and this time it's tied up. It'll stay Bethel possession with 8:46 left.
Well, I think if you're Millsaps and you see Bethel's cooled off from beyond the arc, yeah, maybe don't be as aggressive in the zone. Let them shoot those long range shots and see what they get out of them.
Foul on the inbound. I would say away from the ball, but mainly because it wasn't where the ball was headed. It's going to go against Millsaps. And a conversation. The refs have a few conversations with the players, trying to cool them off a little bit. Trying to inbound it now once again and gets it to Perupski.
It is
far
warm
side
in here.
Miller. It is actually warm in here. Both Larry, our photographer, and I noticed that when we walked in today. Warmer than I am used to.
Even with the 70-degree Christmas?
Yeah. It was warmer than when I left.
It was 16 degrees for us in Minnesota.
70-degree. We were singing Easter hymns because we thought that's what you're supposed to do at church on a warm day with the air conditioning on. Driving the lane, shot up, no good from Kirchhoff. And Millsaps collects the rebound. They kind of have a mini break here, trying to take advantage of it. Matthews drives, gets that one to go off glass and in, cuts the deficit to within 11, so at least it worked.
Big turn of events there for Millsaps. Obviously, it's just one bucket, but you come away with that. Now you come away with another steal.
And a steal, pass up ahead, and it's good for Thomas. And they're quickly into single digits.
Yeah, there you go. And Bethel, they used almost the entire shot clock, but they didn't get off a good look at the basket, and now they've had trouble getting the ball into the front court.
Quickly up ahead, Newell now drives in. She'll get fouled, and it's only because Brooks left her feet. So Brooks will pick up the foul. Newell will go to the line. Newell, 70% free throw shooter coming in. Has hit a few so far today. Trying to make this a double-digit lead once again, and does. As again, Bethel will wholesale sub here. Schultz will check in along with Morse. And I think I saw Zimmerman come in. I did. Zimmerman's in the game. So a bit of height here now for Bethel. And Millsaps will try and counter that with height of their own. Is checking in now is Randall and Freeman, 5'9" and 5'10".
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Millsaps does not go very large.
That's about as tall as they can get. I mean, Maya Brooks at 6 foot and will get in there, and we have not seen Crawford, who's their other 6-footer. 7.5 minutes left to go in the fourth. 11-point lead here for Bethel. Millsaps trying as they might to try and cut into that. 3-pointer off glass. I did not hear bank.
It's Sunday. Bank's not open on
Sunday. But it worked.
Well, and I was just about to say it would be interesting. They scored their last 2 buckets off of transition, and then they're here trying to do something in the offensive set. Probably not what it was drawn up to be.
Perupski with the shot is fouled. So she will go to the line. Perupski, 80% coming into the week. She will get a chance at 2 here to extend the lead back to double digits if possible. First one is up and swishes home.
Slow start to the season for Perupski, coming back off the injury. Played just 18 minutes the first weekend. Played just 12 minutes and scored just 2 points against Concordia, but been a mainstay in the lineup the last couple games.
Hit both free throws. We're back to a 10-point lead as we hit the 7-minute mark left to go in this game. Possession arrow favors Bethel. Spin, left-handed, and they're going to call a foul on Perupski. From this angle, it looked like she had missed her completely. Perupski's got a big grin on her face. That's either because, I got caught, or I can't believe the call.
Which, unfortunately, is two opposite ends.
Yeah, and it doesn't help. And Freeman will go to the line, hits the first one, 9-point deficit. Checking back into the game will come Braxton Thomas, and she will give Kelly Randall a break. Thomas, the leading scorer and rebounder, 12 points and 7.6 rebounds. Also leading block artist on the team. She had 8 coming in. Second free throw is good. Back to an 8-point deficit, but this is where Millsaps has been kind of stuck for the last few minutes. Hasn't been able to get over the hump. Over the top of the press. Well done by Bethel. Schultz thought about a 3, but it was all for show. Decided against it. Forces it inside to Zimmerman. Zimmerman then tries to force it up. Ball gets tipped out of bounds, and Winkleman's trying, not Winkleman, I apologize.
Herbergsmeyer.
Thank you, Herbergsmeyer. Wanted to convince the referees and went off of Millsaps, but they said it went off of Zimmerman, and Millsaps has the ball. 6:39 left to go. Bethel 57-49 lead on Millsaps. Millsaps in their black jerseys with purple numbers and white trim, and it's stolen by Schultz, and then fouled immediately by Matthews.
Yeah, Dave, I was just thinking as you were describing the colors, we should have a Thursday night NFL-style game here with just all one solid color on each side.
I kind of like the purple. I'm pulling
because you can
purple.
see that?
No, it's blue.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's blue. There's a reason my sheets have usually the colors in bold.
Yeah, Dave's occasionally color deficient.
Occasionally. Like purple is blue.
How does that work for you in Division III?
It's very difficult. I think all the teams are blue. I think all the champs are blue. I don't understand this purple talk. Driving in the lane, put off the glass by Zimmerman, no good. Perupski with the rebound and puts it back in, and it's back to a 10-point lead. This is why Millsaps has been struggling with that 8-point number. They just cannot get over the hump every time they make a run.
Yeah, big putback for Perupski, 8th rebound and her 8th point of the afternoon.
Holmes with the ball. She's being guarded by the much taller Morse. Holmes drives her into the baseline, gets in trouble, then kicks it to Brooks, who's had a quiet game, then into the hands of Taylor, who gets bailed out on a rather discombobulated drive to the lane. And it's a try once again to cut into this 10-point lead, but Bethel will let them do this from the free throw line all they want since they can only get 2. Taylor misses the first one. She was 6 for 10 coming into the weekend.
First miss of any shot for Millsaps here in the 4th period.
I was kind enough to give her
a premature point.
Premature point. Fix that quite quickly.
Perupski gets a break.
Second free throw coming. That one is good. I should have just left it. 59-55, 50 left to go. Into the hands of Morse. Millsaps has kind of called off the full offense or defensive pressure. Trying to go with a different tactic here. Nothing's worked against Bethel. They've taken everything in stride. Completely dictated the tempo in the game here. Pass to Zimmerman. Zimmerman could not control it before bouncing it off her foot. It was actually a nice little floater over the top by O'Toole that Zimmerman just could not handle. Put it right where only Zimmerman was going to get a hold of it, and Zimmerman just let it slip through her fingers and off her foot. I think she was looking at taking a shot before she had the ball. Bringing it across the timeline is Matthews. She was in the backcourt with Thomas, and now they'll set up the offense, or they'll drive in the lane. Clunk thought about the shot from the wing, changed her mind, still missed it. Rebound long is collected by Taylor, who has it at the elbow, in trouble, puts up a shot, front iron no good. Zimmerman hauls in the rebound, and Coach Winkleman is frustrated. Drive up the lane, Newell forces it, and it's back into the Millsaps.
Well, I look at Millsaps and I struggle to figure out what they're trying to do on offense.
I don't think they're exactly following what Coach wants them to do, to be completely honest. I think they're seeing opportunities and trying to do things on their own. Three-pointer, near corner, missed everything.
But that was a design play that I could recognize.
It was. It was the look they wanted. Quickly up ahead, shot is good from Morse. And it's back to a double-digit lead, 61-50, and a timeout called by
This is probably
Coach Winkleman.
It's probably one possession too late, really, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could see the frustration. He had said to me in pregame that they had a rough practice yesterday. They had not practiced since the break. They had flown out here on Christmas Day. He said they went and saw a movie, got themselves acclimated, had a practice yesterday. He said it wasn't a good practice, but he thought maybe he had maybe too high expectations. I'm starting to think now he's going to see how that practice has manifested itself straight into this game as well.
And for those wondering more about the specific terms of acclimation, it's elevation of Las Vegas, or this part of Las Vegas, about 2,200 feet above sea level. It's not, it's a little bit higher than.
It's halfway.
Halfway to a mile, right?
Yeah.
Which would be.
I've been to Denver. That's hard to adjust to.
Yeah, I have not had a hard time adjusting kind of in general. I adjust more to the dryness of the air and that sort of thing. That's because I speak for a living, and I don't play basketball for a living.
Well, my sinuses hate it when we come here because of the dryness of the air. I mean, that is a real thing that you deal with, and it's in the rooms, it's in the arena. So, but there's acclimation. I mean, flip this on the other side of it. I'm talking to St. Thomas's women's head coach. They went out and are playing in Nashville this week. She told me they're getting together, having 4 or 5 practices before they go out there. They're flying in either the night before or the morning of their game. They're not having a practice out there. So coaches have very different takes. Remember, Husson was out here a couple days before their first games last year. They were even here a couple days after. I mean, coaches do this very differently. Quickly inbounds. Refs are not going to waste time, at least on the women's side of things here.
No, they're not supposed to either.
I don't mind that.
The rule book says
get it inbound.
Those horns are legit.
And this is actually the first refereeing crew I've seen pushing it this much, but I don't mind it at all. Actually, and we see a lot of that when we're out here. I like that from the officiating crews.
These games move, and when you have 6 games in a day like we do coming up in a couple of days, it's necessary.
There's a foul there on Freeman's attempt.
I mean, Millsaps won't be here when that happens. But
when we run the Hoop Show Classic, I keep pleading with the refs, can you just pick up, not the pace in general, but just the simple little details like getting the ball inbounds off a timeout. But that's something that they're pushing on both sides, men's and women's. Quickly up ahead, shot no good from Morse, and quickly here comes Millsaps the other way. I don't think Coach Winkleman would agree that we want to be saying the words quickly and Millsaps in the same sentence.
Well, when you're down by 11 with 3:44 to go.
You have no choice at this point, but that's certainly nice feed from Hall. That was a great feed from Holmes inside to Brooks, and Brooks missed it.
Yeah, they needed that finish badly.
I couldn't believe Holmes just laced it between a bunch of defensive hands. Newell's got the ball over to O'Toole. We haven't said O'Toole's name in a while. O'Toole loses it. Ooh, that one's going to hurt. As accidentally undercutting Clunk, now correction, Zimmerman undercut it. She undercut Freeman, who I'm actually impressed, gets to her feet and is only kind of grimacing with her elbow. The way she got undercut, it's kind of like a cornerback undercutting a wide receiver. You're expecting to see a leg get twisted, but luckily, that's not what's happened here. 3:20 left to go. 11-point lead for Bethel. They've led by as many as 15. Millsaps has gotten to within about 8 in the second half, but just cannot get over that hump. 3:14 left as into the hands of Matthews. Matthews will get it to Taylor. Taylor in trouble.
Freeman doesn't look good out there, by the way.
Yeah, Freeman looks a little...
steal by O'Toole.
O'Toole gets the steal.
I had to get the O'Toole
I was going to say, we haven't said much of her in the fourth quarter. Not that I think there's been a defensive change. I think the rest of Bethel's team has gotten into some sync. Inside to O'Toole. Nice, quick shot off the float pass from Porupski. And quickly, a steal.
I was gesturing at the Bethel bench, too. They're
having some fun. Yeah, I've noticed that earlier. 65-50, back to the biggest lead possible. Taylor drives, got it partially blocked, put up the shot anyway, misses it. Here comes Newell. Up, no good. She's missed a lot of those opportunities. It's about the only blemish for Bethel today. Newell's missed a lot of layup opportunities. Up ahead, Taylor misses yet again. Ball goes out of bounds to belong to Millsaps. Coach Winkleman is sitting back now in the seat because at this point, with a 15-point lead and 2:13 left, there's not much he can do except see if his team can figure things out before their game tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Refocus and come out ready for DeSales tomorrow at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central.
And listen, DeSales is struggling a little bit this season as well. They're a good team. That's a winnable game for Millsaps if they can forget about this one. They can beat DeSales, but that being said, DeSales is they're not easy. I mean, they're looking for the kind of game that Bethel's putting together today.
Well, and it's true too. I mean, you think of what kind of improvements Millsaps is going to have, having had one practice, right, and now having had a game. Whereas DeSales, how long has it been since they've taken the floor in a competitive situation? They might have a little bit of an advantage. And Millsaps came out fast today. They might be able to come out fast tomorrow against DeSales and keep that game competitive.
Yep. Yeah, Millsaps is going to be out of here before we're even warmed up. Maybe before we get all the gremlins taken care of.
I think before Gordon Mann gets here,
Millsaps is leaving. Gordon arrives at 10:30, and Millsaps will be gone maybe by the time he's entering the gym. We'll see. Of course.
We'll still have 13 games left.
So we have plenty of time.
It'll be worthwhile.
2:11 left to go here in the first one. Of course, next game coming up today, not until 8 o'clock Pacific time. It'll be our midnight feature on the East Coast.
Woohoo!
It'll be the game that wasn't originally scheduled. The Crusaders of Mary Hardin Baylor taking on the Bearcats of St. Vincent. Game where both teams said, hey, we need a name. Oh, you're going to be there? Want to play?
Hey, we've got a gym.
So we've got a third game for those two teams. They'll take the court at 8 o'clock our time. In the meantime, we will go and, we'll do something.
We'll find something. We'll get to leave the hotel for the first time.
What?
I know.
And maybe last time into the final day. Steal by Porupski. Less than 2 minutes to play. At some point, you might see some reserves from Bethel, but being it's the first game since the break, this doesn't tend to be one of those where you see reserves because both teams are trying to get the O'Toole wide open after a defender fell, and a nice feed from Zimmerman. And it's the biggest lead of the game, 67-50, $1:40 left.
21 for O'Toole here on the afternoon.
O'Toole is certainly playing well. And if the Royals can get rolling with O'Toole and some of her other partners in crime, as it were.
Compatriots is what you want to say.
What I wanted, exactly.
Compartments.
Compartments is, I'm not sure how that came. They're going to be, once again, dangerous in the MIAC, which is going to, obviously has St. Thomas as its favorite.
And they're 2-2 in the league right now, but lots of games left. It's an 18-game schedule in the MIAC.
Falling to the ground there was Morse. Quickly up ahead, and once again, missed opportunity underneath the basket for Millsaps.
Meanwhile,
and a timeout called by Bethel.
Meanwhile, Millsaps has yet to start the SAA schedule. They will do that when they return home and face Birmingham Southern on the 3rd, which is a Monday? Sunday?
3rd is a Saturday.
It's a week? I don't know.
No, it's a Sunday because I'm doing Hoopsville. Right?
I don't know if you're doing Hoopsville, but I barely know what day of the week it is right now.
It's a Sunday.
Today's a Sunday.
January 1st is a Friday. That's the only way. And then, yes, I'm doing Hoopsville. There we go.
There you go.
Figured it all out in the first game. 59.9 seconds left. You know what that means, everybody? Getting to play 28-foot basketball, possibly.
Oh, I was going to say clock stops and a made basket.
Well, that too. I'm back in
the 90s there.
I haven't seen it in person just yet, but we do have that opportunity. Once again, referee not messing around. Ball's in play.
The third time they've put the ball. They didn't put the ball down this time, per se.
No, she did that time. The second time they didn't necessarily do it, but the person was close enough that they got it quickly, and neither team was in position. That's 50 seconds left.
More than I've seen in the last 10 years.
Agreed.
Combined.
Agreed.
But I love when you put the ball down. It's like,
I do too. Stop messing around. Let's go.
It's ballsy.
We're putting the count out. 40 seconds left. 5 on the shot clock. Schultz for a 3. Been quiet in the second half. Stays quiet off the front iron. Millsaps picks up the ball coming the other direction as we hit 30 seconds left to go in the game. Taylor forces it up yet again from 5 feet. No good. I'd love to see a shot sheet of how many Taylor has missed from within about 5-6 feet. Foul on the rebound. Will not be nope, it will be a shooting situation with 25.9 seconds left. This is one thing I do like about, people have probably seen my opinions on the changes of the rules this year. And I'm not opposed to the women's quarters and free throw or foul shooting scenarios. I was just opposed to both sides doing it differently. But I like that we don't have a march to the free throw line, the way the women have designed resets of fouls. Yeah, this is the first time we're going to the free throw line in the fourth quarter for a non-shooting foul. Schultz hits both. Lead balloons to 19.
Bethel's going to win the fourth period, too.
Yeah, they are.
I'm totally going to play the CBA thing all year, as irrelevant as it is.
Wow. CBA references in the first game. It is 18.8 seconds left. A 19-point lead for Bethel. Millsaps would like to at least get a couple points here on the free throw line. First one is up and good. So that cuts it to 18. We'll try and talk to the winning head coach here at the close of the half. As Vorupski will take a seat, checking back into the game will come Zimmerman. One more free throw for Matthews. First, and the second one is up, and that one catches on net as well, so it's 69. 52 17-point lead for Bethel, facing a full court press, 15 seconds left. Schultz will dribble right through it over the timeline. She'll then find her teammate on the near side. That's Kirchhoff. 8 seconds left to go this one. They're going to call off the Dogs and win this one easily, as Bethel will improve to 5-4 on the season, and Millsaps will fall to 5-4 on the season, as they win 69-52 by 17, and led by as many as 19. But a big win for Bethel. You're going to have to go back to the drawing board if you're a Millsaps fan, but we'll see what they can do. Again, they come out again tomorrow at 12 o'clock when they will take on DeSales. Bethel, in the meantime, I actually don't remember when they play next. But
they play George Fox on Tuesday at 2 p.m.
That is right. So they will play coming up with a big game against George Fox. Pat will get coach here in a moment. The team is gathered at center. Both teams are gathering at center court for a quick word, maybe a quick prayer, as some teams will do, especially in Division III. Again, Millsaps falling to 5-4 on the season. They had 1-3 in a. Yeah, that stops their 3-game winning streak, is what I'm trying to say. And again, they will take on DeSales tomorrow at 12 in the third game of the D3Hoops.com Classic. As for Bethel, they have now, after losing 3 of their last 5, have won. Of course, this is the preseason number 2, and we'll get a quick word with their head coach shortly. But Bethel finishes the night shooting 43.5%, 36.8% from beyond the arc, and a much improved 77.8% from the free throw line. 1 for 4 in the first half, 13 of 14 in the second half. Much better free throw shooting for the Royals. For Millsaps, they'll finish at a 29% shooting from the floor. Just couldn't make up for that 28% in the first half, and they'll have 30% from beyond the arc and 64.5% from the free throw line. And Pat now joins us with Bethel's head coach. Pat.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Coach Herbergsmeyer, congratulations. Great third quarter and fourth quarter as well. Tell us a little bit about Molly O'Toole, right? Because that's someone who did not appear in the stats last season, and she's had a great season for you guys coming out of the gate.
Well, she was our top recruit from last year. We were hoping she'd come to our place. Chose to go to St. Mary's, just due to a lot of things. We were probably her first choice out of high school, but financially it just kind of didn't work out the first time. And when her coach left to go take the University of Minnesota Duluth job, I got a call from her. I was in Washington, D.C., and she said, I'm looking to leave. And I said, have you self-released? And she said, yes. And I said, well,
then I can talk to you.
I have to hear it from my compliance officer. And so I actually called her, and she checked her email, and sure enough, I could talk to her. And 6 days later, she's at Bethel.
We talked. You and I talked before the game about Callie Zimmerman's injury troubles. I know she's still working her way into the lineup, but if you have her and O'Toole and Porupski, I think you guys are going to be pretty good.
Our best basketball still ahead of us. Like Cal today, she had a little bit of a rough day, but when she's at full strength, she's an all-region player. Molly's obviously made us a different team, and Rachel continues to get better and better as she gets back to full strength and full health. So I like our chances as we go into January and February if we keep playing well. Now, George Fox may have something to say about that in a couple days, and we'll find out how good we really are in a couple days.
Yeah, well, let me ask you about that. You guys have a day off, and then, of course, a tall order in George Fox coming up.
Well, I mean, obviously they've been a top 10 caliber team for the last decade, from Scott Ruck to the new coach, Coach Meeks. I mean, they do a great job. We've watched a lot of film on them. In a lot of ways, I think how our teams are constructed, we're constructed pretty similarly. They've got the big center who blocks shots and rebounds inside. They got a dynamic forward on the perimeter, kind of similar to Zimmerman for us. They've got really solid guard play. I hope it's going to be a great game.
All right, thanks a lot. Back over to Dave.
Thank you, Pat. Talking to Coach. You could actually see it there on the video. Very appropriate. Again, Bethel with a win, 69-52. Let's go through those stats once again for Millsaps. Led with 2 players in double figures, led by Cassie Matthews, 12 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, and a team-leading, co-leading 8 rebounds. Second the team with 10 points, Beverly Holmes on 4 of 12 shooting, 1 for 4 from beyond the arc, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Second on the team was 7 points, Braxton Thomas, 6 points for Kayla Jewel Freeman, and a co-leading 8 rebounds. Also 6 points for Maya Brooks, 6 points for Kim Klunk, 4 points for Kelly Randall, and a single point for Marissa Taylor. Again, team shot 19 for 65 from the free throw line at 29.2%, 3 for 10 from the three-point line at 30%, 11 for 17 from the free throw line at 64.7%. For Bethel, leading scorer, shockingly enough, Molly O'Toole, 23 points, 10 of 13 from the floor, 1 for 2 from beyond the arc, 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Second on the team with 8 rebounds. Second on the team with 11 points was Sydney Schultz on 3 of 7 shooting, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. She also had 2 rebounds. Third on the team with 8 points each was Rachel Porupski and Hannah Newell. Porupski had a team-leading 9 rebounds, and Newell had a second on the team with 8 rebounds. So O'Toole, Porupski, and Newell had 25 of the team's 43 rebounds. Shani Morris had 7 points, 6 points for Abby Miller, 4 points for Angie Kirchhoff, and 2 points for Hannah Johnson. Team shot 24 for 55 for the floor, 46.6%, 7 for 9 from the free throw line, 3-point line, 36.8%, and 14 for 18 from the free throw line. Those 3 of those 4 misses coming in the first half. They were 13 of 14 in the second half. As Pat was pointing out, they won every quarter, 18-10, 16-14, 19-14, and 16-14 to win 69-52. You look at some of the other stats, you'd be surprised that Millsaps struggled. They tied Bethel in the paint 22 apiece. They did get outscored off of turnovers 20-14, but second chance points went to Millsaps 13-6, and bench points went to Millsaps 20-12. Again, Millsaps led by 2 very beginning of the game, and then never saw the lead again. Bethel led by as many as 19 near the end.
Yeah, they jumped out to an 8-0 lead or an 8-2 lead. It didn't go very well after that. It was I'm completely not. That's the largest lead, not last lead. Anyway, not a great.
Well,
good
it's pretty much the last time they led too.
A good start for Millsaps, but unfortunately, not a good finish. And as we talked about earlier, they've got an opportunity to regroup because they have to come back right away tomorrow. Millsaps led for 52 seconds, and Bethel led for pretty much the entire rest of the game. Yeah.
So it'll be Millsaps tomorrow at noon versus DeSale. Bethel on Tuesday against George Fox. In the meantime, Carthage and some other teams would like to take to the floor and get some practice in, so we're going to give them a chance.
No, we should probably turn the cameras off.
We're going to shut them down so no one can see what's going on. Again, Bethel with the win, 69-52. They improved to 5-4, while Millsaps falls to 5-4. For Pat Coleman, I am Dave McHugh. We'll be back at 8 o'clock Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern time for the second game of the D3Hoops.com Classic from the South Point Arena in Las Vegas. It'll be the Crusaders of Mary Hardin Baylor versus the Bearcats of St. Vincent in a we need to fill in our schedule game, as both teams will play the first of 3 here from Las Vegas. Thanks for tuning in for this one. We'll see you back here in a few hours. Thank you, and we'll see you here at the D3Hoops.com Classic for game number 2 in more than 6 hours.